The books that taught me how to live. And don't get me wrong, it takes the whole life to learn how to live, and it also takes the whole of life to learn how to die. Those are Seneca words, by the way. With this, I don't mean to claim that I have learned how to live. I am substantially young to be considered wise. But I did notice patterns, which I firstly saw thanks to the books I will share with you in this video, and from the little experience of life that I got. I will share with you 8 books. All of them are very amazing, but the closer we get to the last one, the better they get. The first book is Be a Player by Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriot. Here you can see it closer. And this book is actually something you won't probably be interested in, because it's about golf as you see here in the picture. When I was younger, this was one of the first books I read, and during that time I used to play competitive golf at like maybe European level. And I trained my mindset with this book. This book began to change my thinking and actions pattern for me to be in a way more stoic. Thanks to this book, I learned how to manipulate my emotions so that I can optimize my behavior towards getting the goal in golf, which is play with less shots. So this book is all about mindset and golf. If you're someone in golf, this will help you a lot. Believe me. The second book is The 5 a.m. Club by Sharma. This was my favorite book, which I recommended to most people, and it is. Many people don't like Sharma. Many people say that he is quite repetitive and says many things again and again, and I believe that it's just the type of writing that I need for me, because in this book he tells you a story about an artist and an entrepreneur, and how they get together and how they overcome challenges in order to manifest the life they longed for together and basically achieve their success in life. And it also teaches you how to have your morning, like it said the 5 a.m. club, but it's not only about 5 a.m. It's just one part of the trainings here. It teaches you a lot about life principles and how to be happy and how to be peaceful. And every time I go through a few pages of this book, for the next days, I notice that pattern. I just feel content. I feel happy and I feel very present. Like enjoying, oh, look at that tree. Wow, it's beautiful. Look at the sky and the birds. Damn, yeah. And it's all thanks to this book. When I get a little bit sad or depressed, I just go through a few pages of this book and it's solved. The third book is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. This book, I don't like it quite much. I have with it a love-hate relationship, because the first time I went through it, it has 200 pages. The first time I read it, I reached up to the page 100, I think, not more. And since it was insulting my ego, it was hurting my ego, I said to myself, okay, this book is bullshit, I will not read it again. And it was a bit difficult for me to read during that time. Like, I was reading through it and I was literally hating the book. I was thinking, man, this dude is talking nonsense. This is wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. And it was hurting my ego. And then after like half a year, I said to myself, if that book was hurting my ego, then that is the best sign for me to go through it again. And then I reread it again from the beginning to the end. I accepted it as Ryan Holiday wrote it, and now it's one of my favorite books. The one that changed my. It's not my favorite. Okay, don't get me wrong. I still don't like it, but it's one that changed my life most, and it's one that taught me a lot about life as well. Then we have The Way of the Superior Man by Deida. This book is all about masculinity, all about the superior man, as the title says. And it is truly wonderful what Deida wrote in this book. It's not something you would expect from a not novel book, but it talks a lot about sex, about women, about how to treat women and how to react to their actions. And it's like 50% woman, 50% superior man. And it teaches you a lot about masculinity. And this book taught me how to become more masculine. It's something that I learned, I'm trying to apply, and it's helping me a lot to be like, because this is the way I am supposed to be. And then we have On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. And it says, Seneca on the shortness of life. Life is long if you know how to use it. Penguin books, great ideas. It's all that you have here. And the quote that I told you before at the beginning of this video, that life, it takes a whole life to learn how to live and another whole life to learn how to die, is actually from this book. And this book is just 100 pages, like you can read it very fastly in one day. But the things that it teaches you about life and how to live life so that you make it long and not short, how many people see it, is amazing. But also I have to tell you that this book has many difficult vocabulary. I am not a native English speaker, so I can bravely say that I understood only 50% of what it says. But even though with that 50%, I got a lot of value. And then we get up to the GOAT himself, David Goggins, with the book Can't Hurt Me, and also his other book, Never Finished. So these both books are in fact one, if you don't know about them. This is like the introductory book about David Goggins. He wrote it for himself, like so that other people know about him. And later, he wrote this book because this was his original intention. But here he goes much more into detail about his life. He did both of them because he wanted one so that people learn about him, and the other one once people know who he is, so he will be able to talk about his life more in a deeper way so that people also understand him. So these both books don't teach really much about life, I can say. They teach a lot. And they don't teach pretty much, like these are the two before the best book of all. And what they helped me mostly with is understanding what I wish. They don't tell you like you have to go out there, understand what you wish, and that David Goggins just told his story here in these books, told some straight facts that help you live, and through that I understood that I am someone that strives to be better and make progress in extreme maximum effort activities. And that is in fact one of my purpose statements. I wish to make progress in extreme maximum effort activities. And all of that happened just because I read these books. In fact, once I read the first book, I set for myself a goal 6 months from that moment to run 100 miles. And I did those. I had to run them in 24 hours and I did 100 miles in 23 hours and 44 minutes. And all of that thanks to these books. And now I'm running and also training in a hybrid style with combining running and powerlifting, and all of that thanks to these books. These books taught me what I really like and how to go after it without cutting corners. And the last book, which is for me the best of all, right now this is my favorite one out of all of the books I read, is Meditations. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, translated by Gregory Hayes. I tell you as well the translation because there are many translations about this book, and I have been told that most of them are in really old English style, and Gregory Hayes is the best translation made up to now that it's understandable. And Meditations by Marcus Aurelius isn't really that interesting to read. Like, it's quite boring, to be honest. But the thoughts that it created in my mind after going through it, the thoughts that I had while sleeping, the difference I saw in myself one night from another after reading this book are enormous. I noticed that before I was quite a selfish person. I thought that we're here on earth, we have to do everything to our own benefit, and we should, as humans, just help ourselves and the close people of our family. And after reading this book, I understood that honestly that isn't what we're supposed to do here on earth. I understood that we as humans are meant to help others, that we're meant to give away our energy for others, and that is what makes us alive. That is what we're meant to be biologically, and that is the purpose, the reason why we were born on this earth, to help others. And once we align our purpose with that, that is when we feel the most joy in life. And this book actually made me realize many things and made me change many thoughts that I had before. and it's all about stoicism, as you may know probably. And yeah, like, this would be my favorite book. And that would be all for this video. The books, the names of the books and the authors, you will see them in the description in the same order I listed them. And yeah, that would be all. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and stay tuned, baby.